Hi people, welcome. Today I'm just going to give you a bit of an update on the gold trade that I showed you. If we look on here, this is what I posted up in the Telegram group. You'll see using known support and resistance lines how I obviously trade. Okay, now you can see that now I estimate that this is going to go up, could bounce off this, or it could even have a gap. Okay, so it's quite possible that when the markets open tonight and Sunday, okay, Sunday night GMT time, that this could jump or it could even come down. Okay, but I reckon there's going to be a gap. I've got a feeling we're going to have a gap here. So what I want to do, I want to show you the trade that it's in at the moment. This is it here, currently at 2,129. What I'm going to do is I want to safeguard my actual trade. Now there's many ways you can do this. Okay, one of them is that you could just end it. So as soon as it comes, as soon as the market's open, we can click on this link and we can just end the trade. The other way to do it is if this still keeps going up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stop loss as a loss adjuster. Now a lot of people do get a little bit confused and they think, hang on a minute, if a stop loss is a loss adjuster, why is it not called a loss adjuster instead of a stop loss? The reason is because I call it a loss adjuster, all right, is because what I plan to do is that my take profit is 3340, which is just up here. Okay, so this means that if this jumps up 3340, I'm going to probably make around about let's have a look. So if we look, I would imagine probably around 3 to 4k. Okay, which is great. That's just what I want to achieve, because if I go to my Darwin, okay, this is my Darwin here, okay, I'm going to be looking good. Okay, so I'm at 80 seconds at the moment out of 246 people in the world that are under the gold Darwin. Okay, my objective this year is to get into the top 50. It just gives me more chance to make some more allocations. Incidentally, we've got some great news on the allocations. Okay, I've been doing some research on the Darwinex Zero accounts, and what they specify is we all know that trend is our friend, right? Now you might be wondering, hang on a minute, what do you mean by trend? Okay, well, trend is if this is in a bull market, okay, it means that this is going upwards, which means that this is a buy trade. Okay, or you might hedge it by going sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. Now technically this is what a grid is. A grid bot works by basically gridding, I'll show you, right? If we click on here, okay, it will grid out the actual chart, and what it will do is it will buy, sell, sell, buy, sell, right? And what it's doing is taking buy and sell trades. Now what Darwinex Zero do is that if you use an expert advisor in a grid or a martingale effect, okay, where it's designed just to do this, okay, or this, zigzag backwards and forwards, okay, so obviously that's a buy, that's a sell. Okay, what it will do is Darwinex Zero will look at this, okay, and they will protect their investors by the risk engine algorithm on the Darwinex accounts. They will turn around and say, okay then, we are not happy with the way that trades, because it's not trading in a natural environment, right, where this is. Okay, if you're trading like this, then this is acting in a natural environment, okay, because we're bouncing off main support resistant lines, okay, like this. You can see where I've drawn this up here, and this is okay because trend is your friend, right? If you look at this 50 moving average line, which is this one here, the candles are above. Now the candles are below here, right, but this candle here is almost touching it. So if we just turn this off a minute, if we go back, take the grid off, you'll see that this candle is probably going to break through this line here, right? It's going to break somewhere this line here. So this candle's going to go up. It's probably going to come back down, and up we go, hopefully, right? That's my plan. So what I want to do is I want to protect my profit, which is at this point here. So using the loss adjuster or the stop loss, what we do is we program in. So if we're at 331607, I want to program in 331550. Okay, now I can't do that yet because the markets aren't open yet. They don't open to around about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Now by then, if the market comes down as a gap, right, which is quite possible, then I'm going to lose my profit here anyway, right? And that's just one of those things, right? Because we know that the market's in a bull fashion anyway, okay? Although a lot of people now will be saying, well, no, hold on. I believe that the market now is going to sell. It's going to come down to another known support, which could be this line here, which is 3216, okay, or just above. This is quite possible. If we go back to my actual trade, which I trade, okay, I'll just turn this off a minute. And you'll see that these are my known support and resistance lines, okay? So I would personally think that 3220 is quite a substantial number where this could bounce off. It could easily retrace down to here, 3240, bounce back down, and then this is a bull market basically if it breaks this line here. That's why I put this top line in, right? Because I believe that if we fall below this line and we find that the candles open below this line, this could then be a bear market for a while. It's just going to bounce down and it's going to come back up again, right? Well, when I use Darwinex Zero accounts, the only thing I've got to be careful if we have too much drawdown, I'm not going to be able to achieve my target, and my target is to stay in a certain point where I'm guaranteed my allocation. So if I click on here for my allocation, it's going to show you how much I'm guaranteed money wise, which I get on the 5th of May. So the 5th of May at the moment I get 672.31, right? This is for me doing my monthly trading. So, you know, it's not bad at all, really, considering my progress to target quota is 69.13. So I've nearly broken into my permanent allocation. Now, they suggest that if you have a 5%, okay, this could be a bit daunting for you, but there are 4 positions that you can get your permanent allocation. There is a 5, a 10, a 15, and a 20%, okay? Now, what they're saying is that if you take out a 5, which is around about $480, it will roughly take you a year for you to pass your point where you get 100k permanent allocation, okay? Now, I've had this currently for around about 6 to 8 weeks, which is my actual permanent allocation. I'm at 69.13, and I brought this at 20%. And they're saying, Darwinex Zero are saying that you're roughly looking at around 2 to 3 years before you achieve that, right? Well, I ain't doing bad, am I? Let's face it. If I'm in a position where I'm at 69.13, who knows, by September I should have my allocation, okay? Once you have your allocation activated, this becomes another adversary where you will make money time and time again, providing you make profits with inside your permanent allocation. This is something that you get, right? And you get this permanently. Now, the idea they brought this out was to stop people from frying their accounts, right? So argument's sake, if we go over here and look at an account, okay, or any account, okay, and the account is say 96,000, and we know that we've got to get between 110 to 120,000 before we make profit, and it's had a drawdown of 20,000 to 18,000. So let's go 18 to 20% on that account. What they're saying is it will take a while for you to boost up that account. So what a lot of people will do is they will shut that account down, right? If you're 10%, 14%, leave it. right? Because it is going to be okay. Darwinex Zero say no, the account will still be okay. Your risk engine will still work just as well, okay? And you won't lose your account. You only lose your account if it's zero anyway, right? Because we're paying for a monthly price of around about $38 unless you're using my actual coupons that are available, okay, inside my description, which you're welcome to use if you're seriously thinking about trying a Darwinex Zero. You'll see my Darwin risk engine is 0.10%, which is this one here, okay? So just giving you a little bit of a heads up, okay? Trend is your friend. So if the market is in a buy market, okay, we can test this really, really easy. If we go to investing.com, okay, anyone can do this, completely free. So we're just going to go to investing.com. We're going to open this up. We're going to put in XAU USD, and then we're going to click enter. Hang on, he said, click on here. We're going to allow this to open up. I'm typing faster at the moment than my computer can carry. Okay, let's just do that again because it's brought up Dow Jones. So I really want XAU USD news. Okay. Now what it should do is it should give me what I want. Okay, so gold still trading below weekly, 1315 pivot. Asia wrap, the mood has darkened considerably. The mood has darkened considerably as US Mid-East strikes undercuts the overall constructive sentiment. So it looks like gold could fall, okay, just by looking at these particular points. If we click on the news, and you'll see that it will eventually come up. So if we go here, now let's type in XAU USD, enter. And we're just going to show you, and we're just going to see what the market is telling us. So right, yeah, 3318, so it's dropped minus 30% previously. But if you look, okay, this is why you could easily get a gap because of this point here, okay, or it could go up, all right. It says a strong buy, okay, so it's telling us that the market is still bullish. So if I click on bull, most of the people, members' sentiments here is bullish 63%. It's quite high, okay. Now if we want to look at a 1 day, which we're already looking at, this is on the daily chart, it's showing us that it's a strong buy, okay. So what Darwinex Zero account people, okay, would say is that if you're trading, you use an expert advisor, you want one that works by trend, okay, because trend is your friend. You also want one that is following the market. You don't want one that's going to hedge. Now hedge does work. I mean, I've got hedge bots running which I'm testing, and they work really, really well. They work really, really well with Bitcoin on my demo accounts, and we can see, you know, that it works quite well. So you can see at the moment, okay, this is my Darwin, okay, it's unaffected at the moment. I'm still pending proof. My performance fee is going to be 67231, so I've still got my wages coming in for that, so that's good, okay. So my formula I'm using for this is manual trading. I'm not using an expert advisor on my account one. So when we go back here, this is all manual trades that I do. I do run a bot, but I do it on AUD CAD, which is very, very minimal, when 86% of what I've earned through my account, which is currently at 668,000, which started with a 100k account, okay. And you'll see that what I'm waiting to do is I'm waiting for this basically to go up, and then I'm going to place, I'll click on this stop loss here, and then I'm going to change the stop loss to 3315, and then click on here as well and put 5, and then I would modify. Now it's going to tell me that it's closed, markets are closed, so I ain't going to be able to do that. And then what will happen is it's going to draw a thin line across here, all right, and what it means is if the candle falls down below that, it's going to take my profit. Now if it jumps up and it keeps going up and up and up and up and up, then all I do is I adjust my stop loss as a loss adjuster. I move my stop loss up. Okay, so I'm keeping my profit in, because I heard through the grapevine, or a little bird told me, that you will stand better chance of getting your allocations, okay, with Darwinex Zero if you keep a trade open between 12 and 24 hours. So you can achieve this without using your loss. Okay, you're not going to lose a loss because you're using your stop loss as a loss adjuster, and all you do is you just put your stop loss level very, very tight to the top of your candle. So if it does fall down and you take profit, great. Wait till it falls back down again until you're in a point where you can get back into the market. Ride the candle up again. Okay, when it gets to a point where you're in profit, instead of putting a take profit margin, use the stop loss as a loss adjuster and just pop that in just below. This will allow that if your candle opens above this and it keeps going up and it finds another support and resistance line, then it's bouncing off the report line, okay, and it's not touching now this candle, we can keep that open. Okay, this trade can stay open, which is going to show that we're more consistent with our trading inside our Darwinex Zero account. So this information is going to help improve your chance of getting your allocation. It also gives you a better allocation number because you're not just throwing a bot on it and hoping for the best. Okay, what you're doing is that you're trying to ride the market and you're trying to get more profit, but also protect your investment by using the stop loss as a loss adjuster. Okay, so hopefully that's going to give you a little bit of an idea of what I am talking about. Okay, hopefully if you get stuck with this, really sorry, what you can do is inside the YouTube description is a Telegram link. Join into the Telegram link. Okay, this will freely put you into my Telegram group where you can speak to other members that are inside Darren's Trading Academy. You can join there if you want to. It's a one-time price that gives you access to 69 bots at the moment. Okay, 69 modules with full training and set files ready to go for MT4, MT5 accounts. Okay, how to set them up, how to make profit with them, etc. Also, I show you my manual trading inside my Darren's Trading Academy. Plus, I also give you access to the Telegram group where you can ask me, Darren, I don't quite understand what you mean about the stop loss being a loss adjuster, and we'll explain it together inside the Telegram group. Might even do a Zoom call and we'll go over that process so you can trial that what I'm trying to teach you, which will help especially if you have a Darwinex Zero account. Okay, this is super important information which will help you pass your points of performance that you need to start making money with your actual Darwinex Zero accounts. Okay, especially if you're doing the allocation way. Okay, because this is quite new, it's going to catch a lot of people out because they're going to be putting their grid bots on, their martingale bots, and they're going to think, I ain't got an allocation. Why have I not got an allocation? Because Darwinex Zero will frown on you using a grid bot or a martingale bot. Okay, so if you're using one that's trend friendly, so you could use RSI. Okay, an RSI bot will work fine because that's just jumping into the market and out. You can still trade with a short and a buy because the market could be still going back up, right? So you know that bot is going to see that because you're going to work from your your RSI, okay, which is your relatively strength index between 20, okay, that you're looking for undersold and overbought at 80, okay, and then you're looking for a divergence using your RSI as well. Okay, so you know there's lots of ways to do that. Same as you can use your MA, you know, your MA 7, 14 and 21, which is current to the actual markets. Now you might be thinking, what the hell are you talking about, Darren? Well, lo and behold, here we go. I can go over this to you very quickly, so it gives you a little bit of an idea of what I've just been talking about. So if we look here, you can combine moving averages with CD for strong setups. Now this is going to help know the trend direction. You can confirm that by MAs, which is moving average, okay, which is short at 7, 14 and 21. So this is a 7 candle movement, 14 candle movement and a 21 candle movement, all right, all day movement. And then you've got the 50 and the 200 MA, okay. So momentum confirmation confirmed by MACD crossover and in histogram behavior. Now if you know about MACD crossover, okay, this is where you can have a dead cross, which we're going to not try and go into too much because I might scare you a bit by what I'm saying. Is you have a death cross and you have a golden cross, okay, and this can be a point of when you get a very low movement and then it will go straight up. So it can maybe be very bullish or it could be very sellish, okay, it means it's sellish. Now we're just going to go through this. So the extra clue, look at the histogram growing bigger, stronger momentum or shrinking has weakened the trend. Now how this will work together, so if your trend direction is confirmed by moving averages, which I've just gone through, momentum confirmation confirmed by MACD crossover and histogram behavior. So example, price above 50 200 MAs is uptrend, MA7, MA14 and MA21 is strong momentum, MACD is crossover, okay, it's crossing up, entry confirmation to take a buy trade. It goes by the point where you've got 50 moving average is when the candles are above and the 50 moving average line is below. This means that you're in a bull market. If the candles are below, okay, and your 50 moving average line is above the candles, this means that you could be approaching a short, okay, which is a sell. It means that we're in a sell position, okay, and this could be a sell market. So to buy a setup, MACD line crosses above the signal line, okay. A sell setup is MACD line crosses below the single line. So the MACD histogram growing, stronger momentum, and the MACD histogram shrinking and weakening trends, be cautious. So the entry rules, buy trade price is above the 21 moving average, 7 MA and the 14 MA and the 21 MA are in a bullish order, and MACD line crosses above a single line. The sell trade price is below the 21 moving average. The 7 MA and the 14 MA and the 21 MA is in a bearish order, and the MACD line crosses below a signal line. So for stop loss and take profit, where you can use stop loss as the depending if you're in a sell trade as the highest high if you wanted to, or if it's in a buy trade, you use the lowest low as a stop loss, okay. It depends. If you're using prop, you have to have a certain percentage, otherwise you lose your account. Stop loss below the most recent swing lows for buys and above the most recent swing highs for sells. The take profit options target 1 to 1:5 ratio between 1 and 2 risk reward, or exit if MACD momentum weakens, shrinking histogram. Best time frames, best to use an hourly. This just takes out the noise. What I mean by the noise is that if you're working on a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart or a 30-minute chart, okay, you are going to get lots and lots of momentum in the candles moving up and down. It's going to be all over the place. And if we go to a higher time frame where a 1 hour, 4 hour, even daily, it's going to give us a more precise point to jump into the market. Now when you go into the market, you must remember that you open up a 1 minute chart to see when you want to be at the lowest point if you're in a buy trade to go into the market, or a highest point in the sell trade to go into the market. The daily long-term higher probability setups, okay, this is a bonus tip for you, is use support and resistance levels with this strategy. Now I live on known support and resistance lines. This is what I use for my trading. This is my trading method. So if the price hits a strong resistance support while setting up, be cautious. This confirms breakouts if near key levels. Trade smart and stay disciplined. So always trade my known support and resistance lines, work with my manual trading methods. So you can see that these lines, every one of these lines is points where I've got into the market and out of the market with profit. I can show you the profits here. We move over here and we go to the histogram, and you'll see that these are all points when I've got into the market and out of market in profit. Okay, so you can see I've got quite a good profit margin in blue. Okay, now there are a couple thrown around in red. All right, this might be where I've closed the market because it's a Friday. I didn't want to risk having my account open and then it going the other way, especially if I'm trying to keep my allocations in a good state of mind, because obviously I want to make sure that I get my performance fee. So you can see that my gross profit is 631,313 with account 1 and my Darwinex Zero account. So it works out really well for me. Okay, and you can see that my profit margin is right here, which I've obviously gone over and shown you this. Okay, so I just wanted to go over that so it gives you a little bit of an idea, is that the candle above the 50 MA shows buy candles, below 50 MA sell. Use 200 MS for your trend or trade a buy or a sell. Okay, so it's just giving you a direction in the market of what you're looking at. Now there are the crossovers. If I find them for you, here we go. So the special situation, okay, when using RSI is called, and the MA 50 and the MA 200 is the special situation called a gold cross. Now this is a death cross and the golden cross. Okay, so when an MA 50 crosses above the MA 200, this is a very strong bullish signal, often leads to a big move up. Okay, the death cross, where you would obviously think is going to be the opposite, right? When a moving average 50 crosses below the MA 200, this is a very strong bearish signal, often leads to a big down move. Okay, so this is showing you it's bearish. Okay, so this is going for a sell trade. So again, the best time frames for XAU USD, remember I'm only using XAU USD as a reference because that's what I trade with. Use 1 hour to 4 hour timeline or even daily time frames to spot strong trends. The higher the time frame, like hour and daily, the stronger, the more reliable the trends. The lower the time frame, more noises, faster signals, but more false ones. Okay, so you could get a lot more false points. You get into the market and then you're fighting to get back into the market because you're going to lose your profits. Okay, so that's it. I ain't going to do any more now. I've just given you a little bit of a rundown there with the RSI and the moving average. Why I actually trade this. When I trade, I work by using my known support and resistance lines. So I trade in history. Okay, I've actually used historic points. This is why when gold went parabolic, I didn't do any trades. The reason why is because I had no known support line for me to be able to trade. I had to wait till it found a resistance, it came back down, it broke through the resistance, okay, and this is when I got back into the market and I started trading in this point here. So where you see this, I waited until it come down. Where the market opened up, we had a gap, it came back down again, and then I waited to this point here where I got back into the market. I took a buy trade here. I also waited till it came down till we got to this top line, knowing that this line was going to come back up. We got another gap and I started to trade this line here as well. And then of course I made a little bit of a trade, couple of K on this trade as well as it was going up. And then this is still open. I expected the line to go up to the golden line and then bounce off this line and then back up. Okay, no one knows what that's going to do until a few hours. And obviously I'm going to be watching this quite cautiously, because if this starts to go up and I start making profit, I'm going to lock in my profit at 3316 or 331550. Okay, because it's at the moment this is at 331607, and then if it falls below that and I take my profit, all well and good. I then wait until it comes down, hits my next support line, okay, and then if it breaks through my support line, I will wait until it comes down, and then when I get a retest, I'll go in with a trade, wait till it retests up, then close the trade, and then wait again until it finds another support before I go for another buy trade. That's it. That's the end of my trading. Hopefully it's going to give you a little bit of an idea of how I trade with gold, XAU USD, using a 4 hour time frame. All the very best till my next video. Thank you.